Did you get ready in the dark or something? 'Cause you look like a beautiful nightmare.
Hi Virgo, what is up? Welcome to my living room floor. I'm going to be doing your 2022 12-month tarot oracle and tarot spread for this December reading, okay? Yeah, so I didn't really want to clean up my table. There's kind of been some rearranging going on. There's always some changes happening in my apartment. My little sister is moving out next month. So I'm going to be alone again, and like the place has kind of just been a mess. So I have resided to the living room floor. I'm doing your tarot reading on my little rug from Bosnia that I bought when I was over there in August. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so this is going to be a look at your at the year ahead. 2022 12-month tarot spread. I already put all the cards out just to kind of like knock some time out of there, since this video is probably going to be pretty long. We have 12 different piles over here. I'm using 3 different tarot decks and 3 different oracle decks, with one of the cards from the oracle decks being like an advice card, and that is something that I'm going to like read at the end of my reading for you for the month. So we're going to go month by month. So there's 12 different piles over here. All the cards, as I put them out, I put them face down because I don't want to see what's up ahead and have that kind of cloud my reading for the month. So we're just going to go month to month, and I'm going to flip over the pile of cards, and we're gonna see what is going on for you for that particular month, and then we're just gonna go in sequential order. Okay. I don't want to kind of like drown this out too much with any like personal announcement, but there are going to be some changes to my channel. It's just part of the growing process. It's just part of me really discovering and learning more about like who I am and what it is that I really want to create, and how I really want to kind of develop this, because I started this journey just a year and a half ago. I've always wanted to get into tarot. I've always wanted to get into astrology, and I'm like finally doing it. But there's so many different like aspects to who I am as a creative individual. So it's really important for me to kind of like figure out how I can tie that all in together and really kind of figure out what it is that I want to put out there and create, and the types of videos that I want to do. And balance that out with just like, balance that out a little bit better with the things that I really need to be doing behind the scenes and that I really need to be doing for myself. And at this moment in time, doing zodiac readings, every month is just not really like, it's hard to explain. Like, I mean, this is nothing personal whatsoever. Like, I really want to be able to like connect with people on a very personal level. And, zodiac tarot readings are great. Like, I still watch zodiac tarot readings on YouTube, but at the same time, I do kind of feel like the readings are so general. I know I'm saying all this and I'm about to do a general tarot reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's still going to resonate, I'm not like, but I guess, like, it's just not as fulfilling as I want it to be, and it's not as, like, I want to get into more depth. I want to get into more detail. I'm a very, like, I like, stronger connections and interactions with people, and I really want to kind of get to know, I want to go into more detail with things, I want to somehow maybe do tarot and astrology that really allows me to go into more detail and really allows me to be more and more involved in the energies. So, it's just something that I have to figure out. It's just something I have to figure out. But I'm by no means going to like stop my YouTube channel. I still want to keep it up and create videos as I kind of feel inspired to do so. Like maybe do like collective energy readings, and just do kind of like spiritual guidance in general, or get into some astrology. So we'll kind of see how it's going. Zodiac tarot readings are still so fun and interesting to me. It's just like, I don't know, there's just something that I got to figure out, that will, kind of like allow me to get a little bit deeper into it. So yeah. Okay, so that's my announcement. I'm going to stop babbling and we're going to get into your reading, Virgo. So hopefully you guys will understand. I already lost 1 subscriber, and that's totally fine. I'm not like, I'm just a different type of person. It's like, for me, it's not just about like how, how many subscribers I have, but I actually want to like have something valuable and substantial and actually create a connection with the people who are watching my channel. And even though like I have like 100 and something subscribers, when you look at like the grand scheme of things on YouTube, people who have thousands and millions, it's kind of like, okay, but how connected are you really to these people? Like, I'm not trying to like judge other influencers or anything like that, but I just want to do things differently. I really want to feel more like, I don't know, like I'm really part of a community. So, and I'm a very artistic person too, and I'm a writer, so it's just weird. I'm in kind of a weird place right now, so I'm just kind of like really trying to kind of figure out what, I don't know, like where I'm at, what I really want to create, and what I really want to bring in for other people too, to become part of things, or to like help other people create things they want to create. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, like I said, gotta figure that out. Okay, so let's get into your reading, Virgo. Okay, year ahead, 2022. We're almost done with 2021. Holy fucking shit. Yeah. So January. Okay, January 2022. Let's see. We have boundaries. All right. For the first card, we have Moonlight. We have the Chariot card. We have the 8 of Swords. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so some faded, some definitely headed in a new direction over here. Really discovering, like, okay. So this is kind of about going within, especially with that 8 of Swords there. There's definitely going to be some overthinking. Okay, so your emotions for January could be kind of pushing you more. You could be kind of like you're being pushed in January to really acknowledge some of your deeper feelings and deeper emotions in order to like be able to like communicate your boundaries. Okay, let me think of a better way to explain that. It's a new year, right? A new year is constantly going to be represented by like new opportunities, new beginnings, kind of like what do you want to accomplish for the year, right? With the Wheel of Fortune. And there could definitely be some like big changes or shifts or things kind of coming your way for January. And it's like you want to move towards this. You want to kind of like, you want to rush towards these new opportunities and possibilities and like towards your destiny, towards your future, right? There could be some fated encounters that come into your life in January that make you like think about what your next move is going to be, what your next direction is going to be. But there's something going on deeper within you emotionally. There's something going on a deeper level where you really need to recognize what are your limits, what are your boundaries, what do you feel safe exploring, and what do you need to say no to, okay? So this is really going to be about like exploring, like really understanding on a deeper emotional level what your boundaries are and where do you feel like you can invest your time, your emotions, your energy, and where do you feel like you can't invest your time, your emotions, and your energy, okay? So that's going to be super important for January. Your advice says distractions. When you are trying to solve a problem, you will often be tested by distractions. So for the advice, so these distractions, I'm very, very much getting that these distractions have a lot to do with your inner world, your inner emotional realm, okay? So when you do, like, you could become very much distracted and be unable to kind of go in a specific direction because you're being distracted by your own feelings and your own emotions about it. And the reason why those distractions are coming up is because it's trying to get you to evaluate maybe like how you really feel about this. That way, when you step into it, you'll know exactly how far you're willing to go, and you'll really be honest with yourself about like your own limits. Okay, it's going to be really, really important in January to really pinpoint what your limitations are, and you know, January is Capricorn season. Capricorn season is all about limitations. It's all about boundaries. So it's going to be like super important just for you to understand within yourself what your own boundaries are, what your own limits are. That way, anything that you step into, any opportunity you take on, the moment you feel like it's crossing a certain boundary, you can step up and be like, no, this is too much for me, or, you know, something like that. Okay, so that's going to be super important. Okay, let's move on to February. So for February, we have hunger, flying, the Queen of Cups, Cancer energy, another Queen of Cups, a damn Virgo, more Cancer energy, and the Ace of Swords. Wow. Okay. So I don't know, maybe for some of you, you guys are like in love, like head over heels in love. But for as far as like spiritual guidance and your soul's journey, February is definitely going to bring on, like, you know, a bit of those hunger games, you know, like wanting more, flying free. Okay. Oh my God, this is so interesting. So this is definitely taking place in this emotional realm. Like, I think that from January, like, once you really discover what your real feelings are, it's like you're kind of going to feel free after that, because you'll know exactly what your limits are, you'll know exactly what your boundaries are, and you'll be able to confidently and fully express your feelings about whatever. So it's like, even if you do jump into different opportunities, it's like you can do so many different things, but it doesn't mean that you have to like give your all to those things. You can kind of go at your own pace based on what your limits are and how you feel inside, and then you'll be able to communicate it. So with the Ace of Swords here, it's like clarity. You have so much clarity in regards to how you really feel about things and what your intuition is telling you. Like, your intuition over here is just like, bam, like it is so in tune, you know, with your inner value, with your own inner value, and with you valuing your emotions, and with you valuing how it is you really feel about something, and using your intuition. And it's going to create this confidence in you to like be so clear in how you're thinking about it that you can just kind of like instantly kind of express whatever you need to express, and it's really just going to make you feel free. You know, it's going to just make you feel like, okay, you know, like it's going to feel like there's a bit of like this energetic weight lifted off of your heart, because you can actually express what's in your heart, right? So you'll kind of feel like you're flying, but you'll have this deep hunger though. Like, you'll still, you know, but it's like you have this hunger to like want to obtain something and to reach a certain goal. And it's like that hunger is driving you, but it's also like, well, just because I have this hunger and I have this desire, that doesn't mean that I'm willing to do like whatever it takes to get there. No, like I mean, you know, you're still like, yeah, you are willing to do whatever, but not without, what I'm saying is like, you're not compromising your own feelings about it. You're actually saying how you really feel about it. So it's like, it's so that your way of doing it is still being considered within the greater scheme or within the greater mix. So apply that to your situation. Yeah, so just kind of apply that to whatever's going to happen. So for the advice, you have enchantment. We are enchanted when the muses sing the art spirit into us. Okay. So I literally just kind of pictured some of you, like, I don't know, just like being really happy at work because you're just feeling like, I don't know, like, I'm really for February getting a kind of enchanted energy from you guys, Virgo, because you're gonna feel so free to express yourself, and you're gonna feel so clear in your mind, that people are gonna be inspired by it, you know, because it's like you are now just, you're going, you're tuned into your own creativity. You're tuned into your own emotional network, which is connected to your creative network, right? So, and I really just feel like it's all kind of just gonna come together in this beautiful way, and it's gonna like inspire people. So I feel like the advice over here is like, you know, really understand that you're worthy, and that your energy matters, and that it's like super significant within the greater construct of your environment. So let's move on to March over here. Okay, so for March we have focus, we have cleaning house, we have Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is Jupiter in Capricorn. We have the Four of Swords, more Jupiter energy, Jupiter in Libra. Okay, so that Jupiter energy, I know March, well, we're going to have our Jupiter in Pisces by March, and I feel like there's going to be some pretty heavy-duty Pisces stelliums. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is your card. This is Venus in Virgo. Okay, so let's see what's going on for March over here. Focus, cleaning house. Okay. So March is going to be marked by like tremendous focus, maybe getting rid of things in your house, maybe doing like a spring cleaning, and really just kind of trying to balance out the different, you know, really just trying to balance out the different things that are going on in your life, you know, work, relationship, friends, and also kind of just like getting your shit together, right? Just kind of like, you know, maybe getting rid of things that you really don't need, like some clutter, or, you know, just kind of like revamping your environment so you can feel better, right? So you can just kind of feel better in your energy, feel better, just generally speaking. And if there are things that are in your environment or in your home that's just kind of like weighing you down somehow, or just, it just feels like it's kind of taking up some of your energy, because possessions take up energy, okay? When you have possessions, it creates this energetic kind of matrix within your home, okay? I'm very, very sensitive to energy, just generally speaking, because I got a shit ton of planets in the 12th house. And I am noticing more and more and more how much possessions can, like, especially if they're not being utilized, especially if they're not somehow providing some long-term value, like how just kind of, you know, transient possessions are. They can be, you know, I shop secondhand, so I've been going through this thing of like buying clothes and then reselling it, and buying and reselling, you know, which can eliminate waste. You know, there's so many different facets to consider when we think about how we spend money and how we decide we want to, you know, be part of helping, you know, turn over recycled items or the environment or whatever. Okay, so there's so many different things that go into it, but it's kind of like, you know, really consider the energetic principles of perhaps, you know, what's in your environment. And you can really, really tap in, if you really allow yourself, you can really tap into how certain items and possessions make you feel, especially if there's some nostalgic attachments to it, or, you know, like there could be, you know, some items that you have that could remind you of someone, and then it makes you feel a certain type of way, and maybe it's holding you back from really moving forward. Like the best example would be like an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, and you have something of theirs, right? And it's like every time you look at it, you feel sad, you feel depressed, and it's like, okay, I'm not knocking those emotions. Those are it's a completely valid part of the human experience. I used to get so like rebellious with my own emotions, to the point where it's like I would just sit in my depression because I would get so pissed that depression was even like this negative thing that the world like made it out to be, and that it was such a stigma. And I would just be like, you know, so stubborn, like there's nothing wrong with depression. And I would just be this like super emo kid. Just like in my feels all the time, like all the time. And, you know, that's fine, I guess, to a degree, but you really just got to figure out like what works for you. And it's almost like figure out what works for you and then capitalize on it, because you can still be like this super emo gothic kid and create some kind of value out of it, right? Like you can create value out of that, but it's like, how are you creating that value? Are you in the right environment to create that value? Do you have the right job to create that value? You know, so it's like really, really trying to understand the principles of your energy and like how you want to cultivate your own energy and put it into some positive use, okay? And even emo like emotions can be positive, okay? It's just, you know, like those types of emotions only become negative because you feel like you don't really belong, or because you feel like society is going to shit on you. But if you like turn it into some positive source of, you know, community or value or whatever, then it's not negative anymore, then it's positive. So I hope that makes sense. I know I went like on a whole tangent, but yeah, energy is super important. So just like pay attention to the energy, pay attention to the things that are in your environment that perhaps are like creating certain things for you. And it's going to be, March is really just going to be all about balancing out these different energies, balancing things out. There's going to be a lot of healing for March as well, like going within and healing. Perhaps really deciding that you want to get rid of things. And then we have Venus and Virgo. We have the 9 of Pentacles. Like, just like being like, bam, like, you know, really, really enjoying the luxuries that you have chosen to keep in your life. Like, really saying, like, I really feel good having this. And, like, the things that make you feel really good, like, yeah, I have this and this makes me feel really good. Like really embrace and feel gratitude for that. It'll make you feel strong. It'll make you feel powerful. It'll make you feel independent. It'll just make you feel good because you're really pouring your energy into, you know, this particular item or possession. And then you'll really begin to learn and discover what stuff is not so, you know, like, like, okay, this can go, I can get rid of that, I can get rid of that, right? So kind of like that. Okay, and it's going to be really good as far as cleansing your energy and cleansing your, like, aura and your spirit, and, like, it'll just be like a breath of fresh air. Okay, so for your advice, you have manifestation. Soon you may manifest the goal you focus spiritual energies upon. I love it when this happens. I love it when I go on a whole tangent and then, like, I didn't even read this card until now, but that was your advice. Yeah, so it's like, soon you may manifest the goal you focus spiritual energies upon. So spiritual energy is so important because when you focus spiritual energy on a goal, that means that you're willing to fight for it. That means that you have a certain passion for it. It sparks something within you. And when something sparks something, I know we're using all these like really freaking vague terms, but when there is something that sparks passion within you, or this spiritual principle where you feel like this is something that you'll fight for, this is something that it creates this energy of like where you won't give up so easily. Even if you fail, you'll get back up. If you fail, you'll get back up. Okay, it's a very Sagittarian kind of energy. It's really just about like keeping it going, keeping it moving. If you fall, you get back up. If you fall, you get, you know. So it's like, is there something in your life that you're willing to do that for? And what is it? And I've been talking about this so much in 2021. Like, what are you willing to fight for? If there is anything in the world that you're willing to like fail for because you believe in it so much and you're willing to get back up and fight for it. Like, what is that? What is that to you? And if you don't have anything like that, like, maybe ask yourself then, like, is your life, are you happy? Do you feel like maybe nothing is worth it? Like, really actually be honest with your feelings. Do you really feel like you don't feel like anything is worth fighting for? You think that we're so far down the shitter in this world and everything sucks and we're all gonna die one day? Like, I've been through all that too. So, but you have to, like, the first step is to be honest, though. To be honest, if you do feel that way, if you are like, nah, I wouldn't fight for anything, everything fucking sucks, I'm just gonna work my job and make my money and go home to my TV. Like, okay, I don't know, but then that means that you would probably fight to keep your job, right? That means that you would fight for at least the comfort of being able to go, like, if someone barges into your home and tries to steal your TV, you would probably punch them in the face or hit them with a baseball bat, right? Like, I don't know, like, there's got to be something, right? So, like, if your current lifestyle, if you love your current lifestyle and it's under threat, would you, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think you guys know what I'm getting at. So it's kind of like, just be honest about that, okay? Oh, we're still on March. Okay, yeah, so that's the manifestation, okay? Okay, so let's move on to April. Somebody texted me. I don't need to answer to him right now. Okay, April, we have Will, we have Compass, we have Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, we have Three of Coins, Mars in Capricorn, and we have King of Wands, we have Leo energy. Okay. All right, Virgo. So April, whew. Yeah, so with your last month's advice being manifestation, I mean, it's just like, I really just kind of feel like it's just every single month is really just feeding off of the advice from the previous month. Okay, because with the first card being the Will is about manifestation. Will is about, like, your will to do something. That is kind of part of that spiritual energy that I was talking about that makes you willing to go after something and passionate to take action, right? Your will is, like, so strong. Your will is your ego. Your will is your, that, like, it's, I don't necessarily want to call it Mars energy. It is Mars energy, but I kind of relate it to all the fire signs. I relate it to Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, your will. It's a very kind of, and it does have a lot to do with, like, manifestation, but will is more active, okay? It's more action-oriented. It springs itself into action. And then with the Compass card over here, it's like, it does look like your will is geared towards, like, wanting to become financially stable and successful, but also wanting to come up as, like, a leader somehow, right? Like, maybe like a spiritual leader, or just like a leader that can provide inspiration, okay? It doesn't have to be spiritual, it could be creative too, okay? Creativity does harbor elements of spirituality, okay? I mean, technically everything harbors elements of spirituality, okay? That's what I believe, okay? We're part, it's all part of the same matrix, okay? So, and with the King of Wands is very creative, spiritual energy. So, I feel like there could be some action that's being taken in April in regards to really figuring out, like, who, like, if there is a project or a business that you might be working on, it's kind of like there's some element of investigation going on here, or travel, of trying to bring together different resources. So I'm feeling something as far as resources and also people, maybe like trying to bring different people together to work on a certain project. This could also just have to do with your work environment, just kind of, actively seeking out the people that you need in order to obtain the resources that you want to obtain so that you can work with those resources and become a better leader. Okay? So actively seeking out those who can help you obtain the resources that you need to use those resources in order to become a better leader in your profession or in your game or whatever the heck you got going on. So that's April. Okay. For advice over here, we have partnership. So once you have decided to walk your path in partnership, you must put the relationship first. Okay, so this could definitely be like if you are deciding to work with other people, you have to understand that like how important it is to really develop that relationship and to really work with them, because it's like if you're let's say going into a partnership with someone and you guys are deciding to invest your money in something that you're going to create together, if that relationship falls apart, then you both lose. I mean, it's like kind of common sense, right? So it's like human beings are very complex. It's so, and you know, but relationships, I feel go so, they are like treated so like such, you know, it's almost like we're always using each other to get ahead, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be like, you know, the relationship that you create with other people should come first, to be honest, because it's like, if it doesn't come first and somehow you guys it could just be a simple misunderstanding, like communication should be so on point and so good, because it's like, even if you have a simple misunderstanding, it can completely fly off the deep end, right? And, someone can like betray you. So relationships are really, really important. And if you do decide to bring someone in on a certain project or whatever, and even if you are even if you're already working for another company, like developing relationships with your coworkers is still super important, because you don't know if someone could try to like jeopardize your position, and I'm not saying that should be the only reason why you develop relationships with people, but I feel like there should be an element of understanding as to like how much the value of how important it is to really understand and consider the value that human beings bring to the work environment. We are the ones who create value in money. We are the ones who put value into possessions. We are the ones who put value into our jobs. It's us. Everything that we have created comes from the human soul. It comes from the heart. It comes from the mind. It comes from our hands building it. Okay? We are the ones that harbor the spiritual energy, the creative energy, the intellectual energy, the emotional energy, the physical energy. We harbor that, and then we create this reality, this world that we live in, and we make things happen. It shouldn't be the other way around, right? So it's like, once that becomes understood and truly, and you really start to see other human beings as these like amazing, you know, and sometimes human beings, like, they don't see themselves that way. They don't have value within themselves. Because a lot of people have been conditioned to think that they're just another number. So it's like now the human being becomes like a product. And that's not right. And then you have to kind of like reverse that conditioning, and you have to really make people see how valuable they really are in terms of being able to express their own uniqueness and creativity and their own emotions. Like, people's stories matter. They really matter. I started following this guy on YouTube, and it's my favorite YouTube channel right now. I freaking love it. I've been listening to these stories like over, like, just one after another after another. And he interviews he just interviews people, just normal everyday people on the streets. He photographs them in black and white, and then he interviews them, like people who are mostly like marginalized in our society, like drug addicts and prostitutes and like people who have been arrested and for various things. You know, lots of different types of people, like mob bosses, and like, you know, and you realize when you listen to these stories that everyone has their own reason for why they end up where they end up, you know what I mean? And a lot of the times it's because, you know, people kind of go down these alternative paths because the way our world is set up, the way our society is set up, doesn't really value. It doesn't hold space. It doesn't hold space for trauma. It doesn't hold space for mental illness. It doesn't hold space for like emotional disturbances. Okay, so there needs to be a real consideration to how our system operates. So forming relationships is super important, and that's your advice for April. Partnership. It's like really understand the relationships that you're creating with people. But anyway, if you want to check out this YouTube channel, it's called Soft White Underbelly. I think Soft White Underbelly. Okay, it's a reference to Italy. I don't know. Just watch the introductory video, but if you're interested. Okay, so moving along to where are we at? We're at May. We're in May, so let's see what we got going on in May. We have resilience, we have sacred pool, we have 10 of wands, we have 5 of coins, and we have the ace of wands again. Okay, or no, we had the ace of, oh, we did have the ace of wands earlier, and then we had the ace of swords. Okay, so with everything that I just told you guys, so May looks like there's going to be a lot of hard work, okay? May is going to be a lot of hard work. I feel like you're really, you know, I mean, you're really going to be in May, I think it's really going to hit you. I think May, it's really going to hit you how much work and how much of yourself you really put in to your job, and you really put in to your care and concern for what you do, into the details of your work. Okay, you put a lot into it. Like you really utilize the depths of who you are as an individual and everything that you feel, your emotions, your spiritual, it's almost like you create this little whirlpool inside you, and you just like, and you're able to put it into your work so specifically and in such detail and with such care and with such concern and with such love that you just feel like you put so much in, but it feels like you're not seeing the results, or it's like you're not seeing its value. You're putting so much value into it, but you're not seeing the overall, like, it's like you're not, you can't see the value that it's giving for some reason. And it probably has a lot to do with the fact that maybe you're not, you know, maybe you're not receiving acknowledgement, people aren't appreciating you, people aren't telling you, you know, giving you positive reinforcement. But yeah, it's kind of like, and it's bringing into question, like, why you're doing it, right? So with the Ace of Wands over here, it kind of brings into question, like, you know, I'm putting so much into this. It's like, and maybe, in all honesty, everything that you have been doing you put so much love into it, but you haven't yet discovered the purpose. You haven't discovered the purpose as to why you're doing it. You haven't really sat down and asked yourself the question, like, why am I doing what I'm doing? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish? Like, what is it really that I'm trying to accomplish? What is the spiritual or the creative energy that I'm trying to, like, pass on here? you know, and that can definitely bring up a lot of spiritual kind of questions, you know, and you might really start to question your spirituality in May and at that point in time. And with the Ace of Wands over here, it looks like you're really gonna start a new beginning here in reference to perhaps starting like a spiritual journey or a creative journey to really understand what it is, like how you want your value to be like received, right? How do you want your value and what you're able to give, how do you want that to be received? What do you want to hear? What do you want to get out of it? What will make you feel like, okay, like I feel like I'm, you know, what do you want to hear or see that will really make you feel like what you're doing is really creating some purpose? So for advice, we have innovation, have fun and experiment, inventing something that surprises and has never existed before. Excellent. This coming right after the Ace of Wands, definitely signals to me perhaps like a new beginning in some type of creative, like, you know, it could definitely spark, some kind of creative or innovative, you know, I mean, Ace of Wands energy can be very innovative. Have fun and experiment. That is very much fire energy, inventing something that surprises and has never existed before. So, you know, you might realize that if you bring something new to the table, instead of just kind of, you know, you could be doing everything right, but because everything that you're doing is like what you're supposed to be doing anyway, it's almost like, well, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing, so how can I actually maybe bring some new vision to what I'm doing that can be appreciated or recognized? So it's like something like that. So we're May. Okay, so now we're in June. Okay, we're in June. We have balance. We have magical map shifter. We have the Nine of Cups, Jupiter in Pisces. We have the Two of Swords, Moon in Libra. And then we have another Nine of Cups, Jupiter in Pisces. Okay, so some wish fulfillments here. Balance, magical map shifter, Nine of Cups, Two of Swords, Nine of Cups. Okay. Yeah, so June, we're kind of coming back to balance over here. We're kind of coming back to like being able to, you know, perhaps you have a new idea and now you kind of have some vision, you know, some ideas, some kind of creative, like thing that you can put out into the world or offer to your boss or like bring to the table. And now it's going to be about like, you know, balancing out once again the different parts of your life, balancing out like some new idea or something that you are feeling kind of passionate about. You know, you could be trying to kind of like change things a little bit with the magical map shifter over here, like, you know, really trying to bring some new ideas into the game. And like making it happen with the Nine of Cups twice over here. It's like you're really kind of putting your with the Two of Swords here, it's kind of, I feel like you're going back and forth between maybe like you could be working on an idea or something and maybe you're going back and forth between two different blueprints or like two different ways of doing it, or you could be like indecisive about like which one to choose or how you want to approach it. I feel like you have a couple different ideas going on, or visions, or like wishes, right? You have a couple different wishes, and you know that you can accomplish this with the magical map shifter, but it's like now comes the question of, okay, well, how is this one going to, how does making this decision, how could that have an effect versus this other one? So now there's just this like deeper question of, you know, trying to make the right decision and trying to go about it the right way, and which way is better, or which decision is better, or which dream, which vision, you know, what can be better here. So let's take a look at the advice. Advice is truth. An honest desire to know and speak the truth produces beneficial results. Okay. I feel like, honestly, the advice here could be to ask someone, like tell someone you're undecided. Ask people for their opinion. If there's something that you're working on and you kind of reached a point where you're like, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure about this, you know. Maybe if you could talk to your friend, a lover. It doesn't have to be somebody at work. It could be. But, you know, kind of share your idea and be honest about how you're feeling about it right now. Like, if you're not sure, if you're undecided, maybe like you can get some outside opinion or hear what other people have to say about it. Because if your decision is, even with people at work, if your decision and your idea is basically going to directly or indirectly affect the work environment, then it would probably not be such a bad idea to involve the people in your work environment, right? Or to involve the people who are who are going to be affected by this decision. So whoever is going to be affected by the decision you make, maybe like talk to them and see what they think and how they feel about it. So that's a idea there. Let's move on to July. As August approaches, I'm like getting kind of nervous because August has some really crazy astrology going on. Okay, so July we have the masculine coming to life, 7 of Cups, Venus and Scorpio, 9 of Coins, more of that Virgo energy, Venus and Virgo, and 4 of Wands, more Venus energy, Venus and Aries. Okay, so July, the masculine. The masculine is very strong energy. It's the lunar god. There's the lunar goddess, queen of the moon, and then there's the lunar god. So this is some really strong, like, okay, so how would you describe, like, this is intuition, but this is like masculine intuition. It's like, it's about like strength and power. So July could really be marked with this, like, you know, your inner intuitive masculine side could really be coming to life in July. And it's like, well, what does that mean? Well, like, it's like acknowledging that you have your own emotional nature and that you have your own ability to hold space energetically and in your heart for all these different energies that are around you. Different possibilities that are around you. Possibly even fantasies, but fantasies that can hold some kind of concrete evidence and luxury and reality. And enjoying the relationship aspect to enjoying the relationship aspect in regards to being able to hold space within yourself for partnership and for another person's energy to share this with you so that you don't feel like, it's like as a masculine energy, you're recognizing the importance of that balance. You're recognizing the importance of like not feeling like everything should rely on you alone. And it's almost like you're opening up your imagination to try and figure out who you can like trust, or who you feel is strong enough or confident enough or brave enough or like motivated enough to take on this joint venture with you. Whether it's like it doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. It could be like some type of work partnership. It's kind of like seeing the potential. It's kind of like trying to see the potential. But with the Seven of Cups, I feel like the thing that came to my mind instantly was like, everything that glistens isn't gold. So that's the only thing that you should consider when when your mind starts kind of flying off the handle with these like illusions and fantasies and daydreams. Just know that everything that glistens doesn't turn to gold. So you have to be more smart about how you go about making the decision when it comes to partnering up with someone. And the advice here is visualize. When we develop our abilities to visualize, we can manifest maximum influence on our experience of reality. So it's kind of like, there could be energy around you that is like making you feel certain types of ways that kind of provide a fantasy element that makes your mind, go into these really happy places. But I think it's really important for you to be considerate of that and to resolve some of those fantasies with your own visions and desires and what it is that you really, truly are wanting to manifest. And be true to your boundaries, I guess, like from January. Let's move on to August. Whew. Okay, so for August, we have peace. We have come together. We have Five of Wands, Saturn and Leo. We have the Moon, Pisces energy. And we have the Seven of Wands, Mars and Leo. Okay, so this is super Leo energy. August does have some pretty tense astrological stuff going on. I haven't really been able to do a deep dive into it yet, but yeah. So there is some interesting energy going on here because it's like we start off with the peace card. So there is this element of like maybe you're finally, you've finally established some kind of connection with someone or some kind of relationship, especially with the come together. Like you're really coming together into this connection with this person, and you feel at peace because you feel like not everything is so reliant on you alone, but you're able to kind of share this with another person. But then there's some conflict that emerges. Now, I don't know if this conflict is between you and this other person. And remember, conflict a lot of the times is just a total misunderstanding. It's just because you haven't really gotten to know each other on a deeper level. And that's why I was saying relationships are so important. I feel like I feel like the best investment you can make is in a relationship, because there is so much value to the person's deeper stories and issues, and those issues and stories can affect everything. It affects everything. So like people affect everything that's going on in the world. It affects everything. So relationships, I think, are the best investments that we can make. And I don't know, like that's just my opinion, I guess. But some kind of conflict comes up. But this could definitely be like triggered by astrology. And there's some deeper feelings that are coming up, perhaps between you and this other person, which causes some defensive energy. Okay, it causes like perhaps the two of you to really, both of you are perhaps fighting for your own belief or for your own way of wanting to do things. Okay, for your own heart, for your own way of wanting to do things. But there's definitely some kind of emotional things that are coming up in reference to some kind of argument or conflict or disagreement that ultimately puts you in your emotions and your feelings, and then makes you kind of instantly want to like be defensive and makes you want to kind of protect yourself. So the advice here is capable. You can deal successfully with whatever challenges and circumstances arise. Yeah, so you're capable, Virgo. So like, when I say invest in a relationship, relationships will have conflict, because we are programmed and conditioned deep down inside to be very like, to go based off of our like instinct mode and survival instincts, based on our experiences and the experiences of our ancestors and so on and so forth. So, but what it's saying here is that like you are more than capable of understanding these triggers and where they come from and how they unfold. And when you have a deeper understanding and compassion for how we as human beings operate and are wired and are like emotionally and psychologically kind of like manipulated in a way to react to certain things a certain way because of our conditioning or our tradition or our beliefs, then you understand you can bounce back. You can bounce back from that pretty quickly, because the more you understand like human experience and all of that, the more the quicker you can even kind of resolve the conflict. Okay, the conflict, just because you have a conflict, that doesn't mean that it can't be turned around. So you're more than capable of understanding that, Virgo. All right, let's move on to Virgo season. September over here. We have surrender, making a choice, more decision making. Oh boy. 8 of Pentacles. This is Virgo energy. This is the Sun in Virgo. The Empress, Venus over here, and the Knight of Swords, Gemini. Okay, so needing to surrender to a choice. Okay, well, the thing with sometimes, you can't always make other people see things that you see. You can't always make people understand things that you understand. That's just another truth and another thing that we have to understand as humans, is like, we can't like force anyone to see certain things, and it looks like for September, you're being called to just kind of like, you're being called to surrender your will in a way. To surrender to like, not just the greater forces that are at work, I feel this is more internal. I feel like you're being called to surrender to your own inner it's almost like before you try to resolve any issues that are going on outside of yourself, first reconcile and resolve the issues going on within yourself. That is what I'm getting from this. So really kind of like, you know, rooted. No. Shit. I was too late. God damn it. My computer went on screensaver mode. Okay. Yeah, so first you just need to resolve whatever issue is going on within you, okay? So kind of like resolve the issues that are going on with you. You know, tap back into that part of you that is able to, you know, work through things and look at the details. But this is almost like, I feel like this is a new realm for you, where before it's like, you might be really, really good at focusing in on the details of your daily environment and the practicalities of your life. But it's like, I feel like with this energy, it wants you to really work on like yourself, or it wants you to really kind of like look at the details of your own dogmas, of your own belief structure, of your own conditioning, and like really acknowledge it for what it is, and then love yourself. It's kind of like you're nurturing your soul back to that dynamic energy, to where you can feel confident and clear to take a stand, or to move forward, or to like, you know, to communicate, you know, to communicate and to say or to express how you feel. Let's look at the advice. It says, pitch. Be as clear, concise, and professional as you can be when you explain your ideas to potential associates. Yeah. So September's advice is like, take the time to go within yourself. Kind of surrender to the situation. If you're not 100% clear in your mind about what it is you want to communicate and say, take the time first to go within yourself, work out the details of your own behavior, of your own feelings about things, and really kind of like, you know, like edit and shave off, you know, kind of hone your representation in a way to where you're gonna feel super confident and clear in your mind about how you want to pitch this communication, whatever that may be. I kind of feel for some of you, this could be actually in regards to like an actual relationship, but it could definitely be something in regards to work, okay? Let's move on to October, Libra season. So for October, we have action. Yeah. Definitely feeling that action after that Knight of Swords. Protecting treasure. Seven of Pentacles, Saturn in Taurus. King of Wands, Leo. And the King of Swords, Aquarius. So we got two kings here. Whew. Virgo. Yeah, so definitely taking action, and like you're taking action and you're like protecting your idea, okay? Okay, this is like protecting your vision, protecting your vision, protecting your idea, believing in it. Believing in it. I mean, King of Wands and King of Swords, that is some like, I am fucking gonna lead this thing. Like this is some straight leader energy. You're protecting this. You're going back, and maybe like tweaking little things here and there, or you're looking to see the progress of something that you've been working on. You know, you're protecting it, you're nurturing it, you're watching this grow because this is something that you decided that you believed in. Okay, and you're like with the King of Wands and the King of Swords energy here, it's just like you are seeing a very clear kind of passionate and clear vision for the future in regards to this, and you're taking like it's a process, but you're keeping it going. You know, you're protecting it, you're nurturing it, you're working through it, you're editing, you're working through some stuff. Your advice is generosity. You can afford to be generous with the gift of your time and attention. Yeah, so be generous to this project, nurture it, you know, give it your heart, give it your heart, okay? Because you have these really strong, this really, really strong masculine energy here with the King of Swords and the King of Wands, with the underlying energy of air already present. This is very, very masculine energy. Don't forget, like, the heart aspect of it, okay? Don't forget the, like, and with that Seven of Pentacles, that Taurus energy, it's, you know, that receptive, more nurturing quality is there, you know, but, you know, you could probably give a little more. You can probably give a little more. You can probably show a little more of that loving, that nurturing, and that loving side to this idea, okay? Let's move on to November, Scorpio season. We have assessing, we have movement, we have death, Scorpio, we have Five of Wands, Saturn in Leo, and we have Eight of Pentacles, again, Sun in Virgo. Okay, assessing, so you're really like paying attention. You're really assessing this vision for the future. You're really paying attention to it. There's some movement there. But not without some kind of ending, some kind of transformation. Something happens over here. Something might fail. You know, something might fail, but it's not. But there's movement still. It's not like this ultimate like failure kind of energy, but something doesn't work out with a certain aspect to this. And then it creates like some conflict. Like maybe someone decides like, oh, no, that's not going to work that way. And then you have to like go through some conflict, and you have to like figure out what's not working, and then you have to fix it. It's like something weird like that, you know. It's like someone comes around and like just destroys your dream, but because you found the passion within you, because you found the fight within you, the fire sign energy, you found the fire in you, or you had the fire in you, or you have it, or whatever. You're not going to give up. You're not going to give up. This could also be something, it doesn't necessarily have to be like related directly to this project. It could be indirectly related. Like there could be a literal death, or something in your life could come to an ending that ends up affecting, you know. Listen, guys, our lives aren't these like put these separate little things that are put in boxes, okay? Like, like if you follow, crypto and shit like that, like, I keep thinking of like the concept of the blockchain, right? I mean, everything has its own little compartment, but there are still wires that connect, there's still connections that connect the compartments. So things don't, we're affected by things that happen in other areas of our life. And if we are accepting and kind of like, and if we are appreciative and loving of the different energies that kind of come in, everything should be connected, Like if we do have a death in the family, it's like, well, why does that have to be a whole separate thing from some work project? Like, why can't that energy somehow be utilized? Because we all experience, like, it's just a matter of understanding energy on a whole new level, and it'll really bring us, I think, more fulfillment for the future once we really start to understand this. Because it's like, well, if you're working on some project, or if you're involved in a business, or if you're doing something, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what your job has. It has some kind of effect on the rest of us. It's related to the rest of us. It's connected to the rest of us. So it's like, why are we hiding, if, let's say there is a death in the family, or something does end or come to an end. We all experience that. We're not living in this life where only one person experiences some traumatic event and we have to like now hide it from everybody else. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. It's like, well, okay, now this happened. Okay, this happened to me. This also happens to other people. So how can this energy bring value into this other thing that I'm working on? Okay, so that's the question that's being asked here for November. Your advice is worry. Worry is attachment to a particular outcome and the fear that it will not come to pass. So there is like there's fear in regards to this idea of an ending, of something coming to an end. There's fear and worry. It's like, what does that mean when something comes to an end? Well, then it transforms, right? Like, when you think of companies that have really been able to evolve and keep up with things, it's companies that are able to transform. It's companies that are able to, like, it doesn't mean, it's like, if you don't allow certain little things in regards to how you operate your system to kind of like come to an end and recycle itself so that something new can be born from it, then you're not evolving your idea. So any idea, any vision, any idea, I guess in theory, should be able to evolve, because that is the natural progression of our species. That's the natural progression of creativity. That's the natural progression of the universe, of everything that we create. It transforms itself. And death energy is about transformation. Death energy is about not just like something dies and then that's it, it's over. Like, no, energy recycles. So death just means that there's something that needs to, there's something that we are holding on to that we need to let go of in order for something new to take its place. Or for it to be understood in a new way. It's a transmutation of energy. And when we worry too much about that, we are allowing ourselves to be stuck in this frame of thinking that's very, 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 like, nihilistic. It's very, like, it's very like, oh my god, this happened, it's over, it's the end of the world, I might as well die now. Like, it's like, okay. Wow. You know, like, whew, okay. That's pretty fucking, that's pretty final. That's pretty fucking final. You know? I don't know, like, that's kind of a scary energy, to be honest. That's kind of a scary energy, to be honest. And, you know, I guess maybe we should face the reality that that energy does exist and that there are people who are, like, more than willing to just be like, the end, that's the end of you, or some. It's kind of like the equivalent to a nuclear bomb, you know, someone just drops a nuclear bomb, and it's like, that's it, you're done. And then, you know, all the critters come out and live, the fucking cockroaches and shit like that, and now they take over the world. But I don't know, like, I know I'm going off the deep end over here, but that's what I do, because I do feel like it's really good to be considerate of energy and how energy operates. So, I don't know, you know, I guess I'm just crazy, but it's just like, like, you can feel the initial feeling of, like, fear and worry, and it's like, oh my god. So yeah, like, could things just kind of, like, end and drop off? I mean, I guess it's possible. But is it probable? I don't know, Virgo. Like, I don't know. Is there a way to, like, figure that out? Okay, let's move on to December. Where are we at? 116? Okay, we're doing good. So, yeah, so it's like, okay, well, you can acknowledge, I feel like it's okay to acknowledge that fear exists, that that's always a possibility, but should that really stop you? Like, should that stop you from, it's like, okay, so that's a possibility, okay, so it ends, and I'm dead. It's like you're being forced to really face your worst fear, like, really face your worst fear. What is your absolute worst nightmare? Face that. And you'll find freedom in it. You'll find freedom in it. Because it's like, well, fuck. Okay, if I end up pouring on this, I don't know. If I end up blah, 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 like, oh, fuck it. You know what I mean? Just like, fuck it. Like, so, I don't know. There's some healthiness to that. So, you know, you just gotta find it. You gotta find the courage in you. Okay, so for December, wrapping up 2022, we got gratitude. We got mountain, the high priestess, moon energy, the 4 of cups, moon in Cancer, and more decision-making time. Oh my goodness. So it was either Taurus or Scorpio that got this. Moon in Libra. Okay, so finally coming into some elements of gratitude, feeling grateful for what you have and where you're at, and understanding that this mountain that you're climbing, we're all climbing the fucking mountain. We're all climbing this mountain. We're all in this together, okay? And it's just like really, really tapping into that intuition and really just understanding that everything that you, all the knowledge that you seek, all the knowledge and the understanding of the human energy and the human spirit and the human emotions, it's all within you. Just look at yourself. Just look at what's in yourself, and then you'll know someone else. Look within yourself, and you'll know exactly how other people operate, because we're all made, like, you know, we do have unique experiences. We do have unique, you know, energy configurations, but ultimately, you know, we all still go, like, we might not be aligned in terms of where we're at in our life and how we go through these cycles and through these energies, but we all go through the cycles and we all go through the energies. So every single person on this planet will go through every single type of energy that exists in the world at some point in their lives. And the reason why people have these misunderstandings with each other is because they're just not on the same energetic wavelength at that point in time. But if you understand that at some, either you know, that like you actually are connected to this person in some parallel universe or in some alternate dimension, or that you are able to connect with this person on some kind of like spiritual and energetic platform, whether it's far into the future or far into the past. Like, honey, your whole world will fucking change. Your mind will open up and you'll start to see things totally differently, and you'll start to understand the matrix of energy. We're all climbing this mountain. It's all inside you. Four of Cups does kind of symbolize some kind of like, like, I don't know, like you just feel, maybe you're starting to feel more like just disappointed with your surroundings. Like you kind of become just like bored of things, and you're like, you know, like people just like aren't as exciting or interesting to me anymore, or like, I don't know. And then you're faced with another decision. Okay, you're faced with another decision time. But there's something in regards to your emotions and your inner feelings, and it could be in regards to your own intuition and maybe the information that you're getting. Like, you could be receiving actually some downloads and some wisdom and some things that are coming through your heart chakra and through your intuitive energies, and you're receiving this information, and you're thinking about it, but I feel like it's taking some, oh my God, like I feel like the emotions that are coming through you, it might be taking some energy out of you. You know, you could be feeling a little like lethargic. It's like all these feelings and all these things that you're feeling and going through. It's kind of like, it's like you don't want to hang around anybody. You don't really want to deal with people. Like, you're just feeling like, you know, you could kind of be like selfish in regards to like, you just want to feel your own emotions and be in your own mood without anybody else like telling you like what's what or what to be. And then you kind of come out of it like, okay, well, now I have to use my intuition. Okay, so like, now how am I going to enter the world again? How am I going to enter into the world again? You know, how am I going to start communicating all these like things that I just felt and went through? And like, it's like, okay, well, this is not satisfying me anymore. That's not satisfying me anymore. Yeah, so the advice here, so that's going to be your question for the end of 2022. It's like, what's next? What's the next step? Recycle! I mean, I think that, like, I don't know if it was for Taurus or for Scorpio, but they got cycle, like, in December. Like, the advice card for December always turns out to be something in reference to, like, oh, a new start or a cycle. And that, I mean, how appropriate for the end of the year, right? Right before 2023. So it says, learn from the past and apply it to creating your vision of the future. I mean, if that is not a more appropriate piece of advice for the end of the year, I don't really know what is. Like, we're looking through everything that happened, and whatever it is we learned so much, right? We learn so much every day. So everything that you've learned, it's time to start applying it, right? It's time to start applying it to the year ahead, to 2023. And just, you know, reinvigorate yourself, have a new mentality, have a new approach, have a new way of going about things, like, and, you know, it's just keep riding that wave. Virgo, keep riding that wave. So this is your reading, Virgo, for 2022. Look ahead, 12-month tarot spread. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know. I really enjoyed doing this reading. This was a lot of fun for me. So yeah, just stay tuned for whatever my next video is going to be, okay? I really do enjoy doing these, like, you know, these talks and these guidance, you know, videos and stuff like that. So just stay tuned, okay? Because I will start posting videos, and I will be doing more stuff, okay? Even if it's not going to be zodiacal, I don't know yet. So anyway, bye! Happy holidays, and I'll see you in 2022.